Welcome back. In this video session, we want to just elaborate a little bit, not too much, right? A little bit more about how quality plays a crucial role in lean operations. So, of course, it is a very complex and very industry sector and even product specific discussion, because what is quality is rather how to really implement quality is a very um, product line or process specific design. And what we are looking at is kind of as general as possible the axis, right? The kind of aspects that we can talk about for most, if not as many as possible, the various kinds of products and brands, and even in different countries, right, that are still applicable, right? So one is quality of design, quality of conformance, and then the abilities, right? So paying attention to the kind of like the input, right? At the input at the initial, very initial stage, even before the product is being envisioned, it is weaved into the the whole DNA of the product itself. So for lack of a better word, I use the word DNA. As we know, DNA, right, permeates throughout our body. It is even pre um, manufactured, and it governs, right, how we grow, right, from fetus to an adult. And much like that, right, the quality, at least this aspect, this point is trying to stress, is that the quality needs to be built into the design itself. Of course, there are many things that go into the design, right? Whether it is a um, value good, that means, value for money good, or it is a luxury good, or it is a better than competitor good, or you have various goals to meet. But instead of just purely meeting the goal, for example, this is a value for money. That means it's very cheap, yet it delivers some sort of benefits that meet the customer's desire. For example, a biscuit. You have very premium luxury Belgium chocolate cookies. They don't call it biscuit, they call it cookies, right? And it's very crispy and nice texture to the taste, plus premium chocolate. It's not the run of the mill ugly chocolate. It's a premium chocolate from Belgium, right? So it's all like branded quality and high spec, right? When we say quality, it means it meets the specifications, and the specification is very high, right? It has very high bar to cross before it can be shipped out to be sold. So when we have that in mind, we want to think about the premium chocolate cookie, and because it's crispy, right? It's very brittle. You want to think about the packaging, that it has to be very airtight. It cannot allow exchange of air, because then the cookie will be very badly tasting when the customer ultimately opens it up, right? So the packaging is very important in preserving the high spec quality, the high spec cookie inside. And by that, we then mean that the design of the entire product, including the packaging, has to maintain the quality, right? The high specifications. That means crispy, nice tasting chocolate that hasn't oxidized, right? That doesn't taste sour. That'll be disastrous, right? So all these are thought of even for cookie, right? Premium cookie. They all these are thought of before the product is designed. And let me just quickly give another example. Value for money, right? Very cheaply priced uh, biscuit. So for the Belgium chocolate premium cookie, it can be sold at how many? Maybe 5 pieces, 6 pieces for 10 Singapore dollars, right? So nicely packaged, airtight, everything, right? So it doesn't attract ants in Singapore, and various flies and insects, right? And then the cost effective, right? The value for money type, something just to fill your stomach, right? Something just as a quick and easy snack, and that might be the Kongguan biscuit that is locally made. Um, it has you know, also kind of delicious tasting, but you can kind of tell if you eat enough to sense that maybe it's just adding more sugar to make it sweeter, right? And because adding sugar is a lot cheaper than adding chocolate to make it sweet, so it's delivering that, both giving you the calories and the sweetness, and kind of delicious for a not so fussy eater, like an office worker who just feels a little bit hungry, right? But it's 3 p.m. So it's neither lunch nor dinner. So you just want a quick and easy bite. Okay, fine, right? So, and what happens if you forgot to close it up properly? Because the packaging is just like tear open, and it doesn't allow you to reseal, right? So the plastic wrapping is torn open, then you go and think of how you want to uh, uh, you know, properly airtight contain the whole rest of the cookies, the biscuits. So it's up to you. You're going to find your own container, right? But what if you forgot, or you are in a rush of time, you didn't put it back properly? Then too bad. So the whole lot of rest of the cookies will be, the biscuits will be a bit moisturized by the air, the humid air, and not tasting as good. Or even worse, maybe microfungus start to grow, then we have a problem, right? So it may get your stomach upset. But you can just decide to throw away because it's very low price. Like that may cost you $3, right, versus $10 for only a few, where $3 can get you like 20 biscuits. Yeah, so that's the kind of differences, right? So you can, for $10 you can buy 3 packs of these biscuits, Kongguan biscuits. For $10 you can buy only one package of premium Belgium chocolate cookie. So which one do you want, right? Both are quality, by right? Both are quality, because they meet the specs. If I don't want to spend a lot on biscuits, cookies, right? Because I want to drink coffee, right? And then the Kongguan biscuit, the lowly priced and yet meeting all my hunger needs and all that, right? In between meals, is delivering benefits to me. Because if I don't have that choice, then I'll be forced to spend a lot of money on premium chocolate that I really don't prefer, right, for a office day between meal snack, right now. Yeah. So you see that quality, when it goes up the shelf, or for retail items, it's very easy to see what is quality. Anything on the shelf is quality, because anything in the retail shop, 7-Eleven, supermarkets, right? Because the shelf spaces are very premium and expensive to the retailer. The retailer will kick out goods and items that don't sell very quickly, because they have cash registers, they can record the sales, so they know what products are moving. They want all their products to be moving as much as possible. Of course, sometimes as a premium supermarket, you might want to keep or hold goods, display goods that are premium, high priced, right, and fewer in volume and quantity, fine, right? But they know that whenever they sell, it's still profitable. So you just look at all the displayed items, all of them are quality goods as far as lean is concerned. Yeah. So determined before product is produced or even envisioned, determined by market research. Who wants what? But of course, you can also find many research, academic research, that uh, uh, play down, right, the impact of market research, because you can ask customers all they want. What they think they want sometimes may not be where their money goes. You want to trace where their money goes rather than what they say they want, right? I want a BMW. I ended up buying a Toyota or a Hyundai. Right? What do you want? I want a Mercedes Benz. I end up buying Audi. Yeah, so what customer says by market research may be one thing, but then when you actually buy, that's another thing. So, but then of course it will still feed into the design. and then translates the wishes of customers into specifications. So translation of the designer, right, the in-house designers features, right, and benefits. Okay, I think I want my customer to have a good time, right, to feel the premiumness of the Belgium chocolate. So I envision this premium cookie product, and I need it to have premium packaging to be resealable, right? Whenever I open it up, I can reseal it easily and airtight, right? And so that my user, my the customers who buy my premium cookie product will really enjoy it with lasting time. So all these are the features and benefits, and I want to design in this specification, this quality into the design. Quality of conformance go into the checking, right? So it's like what you think the benefit should be may not be what the benefit comes out from the manufactured product itself, right? So you want to have a QC check, quality of conformance. Did the produced good meet the specification or not? And this is the part that actually is delivering the meaning of quality in lean. So any product that is manufactured, high price or low price, premium or non-premium, so long as it's manufactured to specification and sold, right? Because customer bought it because they find benefit. I gave an example about a Ultraman, right? $1 Ultraman, right? Whose limbs and head after playing a few times will fall off. But is the $1 Ultraman toy delivering benefits? Yes, because the kid is so happy for an hour, but after playing for an hour, twisting their arms and legs, they fall off. And by that time, the kid is already tired of that toy and so throws everything away. But that's okay because it's low price, and parents will be very happy buying it because it's not going to cause a big damage as compared to a $60 Ultraman that is built to last for a lifetime, right? Yeah. So so checking, right? Checking whether it meets the specification. Then abilities deals with, can you do it or not? Can the factory, you know, produce those uh, quality products and then be able to continually make the customer happy? And these, of course, don't deal so much with cookies and one-off kind of thing, right? Like food and all that. But maybe longer lasting product, like maybe air conditioning. The air conditioner manufacturers, many of them, very, very competitive, right? Apparently a big market for many manufacturers to try to get a piece of, right? Because you sell the air conditioner, it will last for say at least 10 years, right, with proper maintenance. And you can find that manufacturers are always trying to educate the consumers that proper maintenance is very important. If you don't want the air conditioner to be lasting for very long, fine, but at least you worry about what is the quality of the air you breathe, right? You don't want to breathe in fungus, you don't want to breathe in dirt, then please routinely chemical wash all the tubes and pipes and all this. So there is this business of servicing. And do you have that service, the continuity of service? Can you maintain that high standard, high quality, even into the services, right? Do you have that? Now, most of these manufacturers, they focus on producing quality aircons because uh, that takes a lot of effort, right? You even have to R&D, make sure it's environmentally sustainable, meeting the regulations, doesn't explode, and it's cold enough, it's rapidly cold enough, and then you want to have gimmicks like ionized air and all that stuff, right? So that takes a lot, and manufacturers focus on good, high spec, low price air conditioners, something like that. And they tie up with third parties to make sure that the maintenance, right, is continued, right? There are parts available. They supply parts, right? Whenever some controllers are spoiled, whenever some fan coil or whatever it is, right? So they will tie up with their distributors and all that. But of course, coming from Toyota cars, also similarly, that can be used for 10 years or even 20 years. Do you have the parts available? So car manufacturers, if they don't make parts available, then if their cars are very large in market share, just like Toyota, right? Even if Toyota doesn't sell, then third parties will start to mimic the design and sell third party cheaper versions of the parts, like air filters and tubes and connectors and pipes and whatnot, right? So availability and here it says reliability, but it's also more on durability. Can the product last? Some products are meant for one-off usage, like straw, for example, right? You use it once, and because of hygiene and deformation of the plastic straw itself, it's really not meant for reuse. But there are reused straws, right, that are made of harder plastics or even non-plastics that are supposed to last. So they are very durable. Right? So which product is it? Is it a one-off product or is it a durable product? I mean, if it's designed as a one-off product, then durability is that it is maintaining that benefit and durability and usage until it is used for that one and only time. For example, straws, right? It shouldn't degrade after a month. It shouldn't crack, right, and fall apart into debris, into broken plastics just after 1 month, because plastics do harden when it is exposed to extreme dryness or sunlight or whatnot, right? But then if it's a poor quality plastics, maybe it will just crack apart on its own, and that's bad, right? That's non-durable. So even for one-off usage, because it's designed to be one-off usage, so it's not fair to say that is it going to be used for 10 years, right? So it's not a absolute timing kind of thing, but relative to its design, right? Is it durable? And for appropriate products, maintainability. If it's spoiled, can it be prolonged further by changing the parts? So for car, for example, certainly it better be maintainable, because consumers will be very angry if they pay in other parts of the world $30,000 for a good car. In Singapore, 150. Recently, it's more like $200,000 for a good car. 200,000 Singapore dollars, right? So 200,000 over Singapore dollars for a good car, only to find that after using 3 months, 6 months, it cannot be restored, right? Something is spoiled, air filter is dirty, I need to change that. Sorry, you have to wait for the shipment from Germany for 6 months. Oh man, right? It's available, but you're gonna wait for a long, long time. But it's so expensive, the car, and I'm supposed to like park it in the garage in the car park for 6 months and not use it. That's crazy, right? So and even if it's $30,000, it's still a lot of money for buying the car and then keeping it there and not being able to use it. I need it for going to office, and you're saying I have to just take Grab or Uber for 6 months with a car parked in the garage. So it's crazy, right? So maintainability, do you have parts to make it prolong the lifetime, right? Prolong the usage of that product. Yeah. So here, this little uh, drawing here is that all these uh, maybe you can say factors or aspects or uh, uh, yeah, axis of inspection, check whether this factory, this company, this business can deliver quality or not. You can then look at these 4 circles in producing the quality, not because this slide is exactly meant to say that quality depends on, right, is derived from, is a result of having these factors, these abilities, these aspects. On the right side, it's more a show and tell, right? It's more on a impact basis. So the details are not so important because again, different bullet points will come in for different sectors, industries. The way customers are satisfied for a energy and oil industry will be very different from the way customers are satisfied in the FMCG, you and me, right? So fast moving consumer goods categories. So the likes of Shell and BP will be paying attention to customer satisfaction. Of course, they sell their oil uh, through distributors, right, and various networks to finally reach the consumers. But they're also very ever conscious about consumers, ultimate consumers like you and me, our feedback, our satisfaction. Even though they don't deal direct, they know that their distributors will not be able to do anything if customers are not happy. So the war between them, right? Come and buy me, because I'm BP, because I'm Shell, because I'm Esso. Uh, Esso as in ESSO, right? Esso Mobil Oil. Is very fierce. Yeah, very, very fierce because the only way customers are satisfied is low priced, low price oil. I might buy 95 oil, and that is $2.90 per liter at Shell. But BP is selling at $2.85 per liter at BP. So I swam to BP, right? Customers will swam to BP. But Esso says I'm selling at $2.90 per liter. But if you have a Esso membership card, it's $2.70 per liter. Oh, then I apply for a membership card, right? So with membership card, they tie you in. They have all these gimmicks to make sure that ultimately customers are satisfied or feel that they are satisfied because I get a discount, right? I get a discount, I get a rebate, of some sort. I'm being cared for by Esso, and that's why Esso will get more sales than Shell, for example, right? So that would be a different way to please the customer, as compared to FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. Oh, then you got to go inside inside all these second tier, third tier boxes to try to feel, yeah, the nerves, the likes, the dislikes of the various nerves in each of the customer as much as possible. Yeah, quality of design, conformance, availability, and um, field service, right? The sustained delivery of the usability of the product. That means if the product fails, uh, can it be prolonged in its usage by changing minor parts? So that goes with cars, air conditioners, various home appliances, printers, right? Notebook computers as well, mobile phones. If my battery is burned out, can I change it? Yeah, I mean, you can't change it yourself if you don't know how, so you bring it to the mobile phone shops. At least it can be done in a modular sense, right? And of course, each of these green boxes can expand further, right, into quality market of research, quality of concept, specification, ideation of the design. Conformance will be checks. You use high-speed laser, AI assisted vision systems to check, right? Does it look correct? Does it look deformed? Is there a visual defect? Right? All these can be quickly and easily and accurately done by technology. But is the company willing to invest? They're not free, right? But if you do, then you have very much fewer defects than competitors. And the overall feel is that, wow, this company is very reliable in producing this value for money good. That means even if you're producing non-premium, non-luxury goods, which includes a lot of manufacturers, right? You still have very dependable specs. That means the specs that it is a value for money biscuit, it's always there. It's always that kind of tastiness, right? Not premium tasty, but meet my hunger kind of tasty. Okay, I need that. I just need that. I don't need more, and I don't need to pay more. That's important, right? And availability, right? You can talk about durability, maintainability, logistical support, right? And that typically may not be does not necessarily mean that the vans and the trucks and the personnel repair people have to be from the manufacturer. For example, if you buy a Toyota in Singapore, and it needs some servicing, you don't go to Toyota shops. There are no Toyota servicing shops in Singapore because they partner with the distributors or some of the local shops to deliver that service, right? So it is not about owning that whatever you call it, employment or the right to instruct the people and all that. So, but did you provide this support? Did you provide this support? Can Toyota parts be quickly made available when a particular Toyota car needs that component? That's important. The lead time, remember? The lead time to get those parts. Does Toyota support? Because if Toyota doesn't make them readily available, no one can. It's from you, right? Yeah, so that's the support we are talking about. So field service, same thing, right? So the post-sale, whenever the car, the air conditioner, the washing machine, right, uh, has left the ownership, right, of the manufacturer, that means the end sales retail shop, and it belongs to the customer now. Those will be the post-sale support. Post-sale support. So field service, is it fast? Is it prompt? Is it reliable? If I say the team will come and service your aircon at 1 p.m., next week, wow, so far down, right? Fine. Even if you are so far down, did you come at 1 p.m. or you keep calling and say, so sorry, 1 p.m. we cannot because that day we have to schedule Mr. Tan and Miss Lim's house before yours. So can we come at 6 p.m.? It'll be such a disappointment, right? Number one, you are late, right? You call, but at least I call, right? But then you kind of give me the impression that I'm not important. I get rescheduled later than those people, right? So are you prompt? Are you do you have the integrity, right? And do you have that customer service friendly relationship, the skill to deliver those services? So then the customer will be happy, right? So all this will contribute to overall happiness. Okay. Next, we want to just quickly walk through the evolution. I mean, this is not a lesson to study history of quality, but it's good idea to know a bit of the evolution. That means how did we end up having the quality, the way we think about quality today? So it started off all the way back in the 1920s, since after post-World War II, right? So there's a lot of reconstruction going, and you want volume, right? Yeah, everyone wants a car to drive, for example, right? To move around, to grab more businesses, to have more meetings, to have more deals done, and which design, I think at least I have a car first. So volume is much more important, but you need quality. So the way quality is done, remember, this was 1920s, right? Post World War II. Not much technology. You hire more people. The way you have to have more quality is that your team of QC is larger, so that there are more eyeballs to look at the car, look at the machine or whatever you're manufacturing at that point in time. Right, you inspect. Right, if quality is not good, you reject, because you go by visual inspection. Uh, we will think it is very expensive, right? But back then maybe the labor weightage, the wage, the salary may not be so high, so still tolerable. But still, they have other things to think about. Maybe back then you also have to cater to their meals, right? So it's still expensive in a sense. Uh, all these statistical control and all this is just emerging, not a very strong emphasis yet, because the whole idea is to get it done, right? So there's inspection, there's check. If it's visually bad, take it out. That's the main uh, idea. Of course, leading manufacturers, right, those that have made a lot of money, they can talk more, right? They can emphasize more, they put in more money, then they can implement at that point in time state-of-the-art methodologies like statistical quality control and standards and nomographs for inspection. So nomographs are basically manual way to draw graphs and intersection points to solve simultaneous equations and all that, right? But today it will be very backward, right? We at least you will use Excel. You don't try to solve even by hand, simultaneous equations. So that's back then. Then, as you know, the manufacturing techniques and theories mature, we end up having process control. So quality by inspection, you imagine the process line. We have teams of QC people check, right, the product. Where's the product? At the end of the process. At the end, that's my focus here. Huh? So to kind of see the evolution, you look at where do they focus or position the QC. This was at the end of the production line. Process control is that, you know, you want to have each process works according to specification. So we kind of check the process. That means we look at the resource. Is this resource operating at the stated capacity? Right? If not, then it is not so quality. So the quality is not in the flow unit, it's in the resource itself, the people, the person itself, the machine itself. Then there's further use of statistical techniques to ensure process is in control. So there'll be records, but manual, not digital displays, but manual records. And how do you get those records? Every half hourly, every hourly, you have a worker check, right? Let me do the timing, let me do the counting. Oh, yes, okay, so the prevailing flow rate is 10 per second. So the capacity on the machine says 12 per second, right? Maximally, right? So, okay, good. It is producing as, so put a note down. So over time, over days, right, over months, the manager will be able to see some sort of a time series, and that is the thing. But then you cannot have more frequent checks, right? It will be manually recorded and then manually plotted out to see that things are okay. Moving on, then you have quality control and assurance. So now that the emphasis goes into, we better have quality that is built into the product. So the QC check is still the QC department, right? So the controls, process controls, emphasize more, because now that there is the realization of that the quality has to be built into the product, because after installing, positioning the QC department checks at the end of the process line, the realization is that, if you have designed this into that earlier on, then this defect wouldn't keep occurring, right? So after observing many times of defects, the reason why defects were originated, you should come to some realization to, you know, twist something, right, to reduce the frequency of either this particular kind of defects or the overall defects in general. So the realization comes from these gathering of visual inspections, that, oh, I think it's better that the product itself has a better DNA, right? Has a better DNA. So it's just like we say kids, right? So we realize, as you know, later parents realize that for the kid to have a bright future, they should have early good education, right? So don't just put them anywhere at the start and just say that so long as you go into a good university, then the parents realize that, oh, you get into a good university, you better have good training in the earlier years. It's the similar kind of realization. Yeah. So therefore, not only that the design of the product is now more emphasized, but every single resource, you know, there's further scrutiny to make sure that you don't go and add some sort of a bend, a dent, or some sort of a minor damage that will propagate down, right? So process control is emphasized even more. Control checks are done, growing realization that quality is not just the QC department's responsibility, but all the upstream resources. So long as you're in the process, you contribute to value adding, yes, but if there's a defect, all these resources upstream also have contributed to the creation of the defect. So don't just blame the last resource or one of the resources, but everyone is responsible. Then we have company-wide quality control, right? So it kind of gradually permeates higher up. At first, it was, hey, Tat, hey, how come you didn't check properly, right? And you allow defects to be propagated downstream, to be sold to the customer, right? At first, it was a bit of a blame game because that's your responsibility. That's why I hire you for. Then later on, it becomes, no, sorry, CEO, sir, you are the one. You are the one who gave me only one person to do QC check. But the flow rate is so high. How do you expect me to check? How do you expect me to? Of course, I would have missed certain things. I'm just human, right? So it becomes a company-wide realization. So there's no point trying to scold that poor inspector QC department. How come you didn't do your job? So they realize that no point because it is not a blame game. It goes from the top to bottom, right? CEO all the way down to the line worker. And that ultimately, right? Ultimately, it goes into the total quality control. Uh, uh, Not just manufacturing and quality are responsible for quality. Everybody, right? The CEO, the management, the purchasing managers, all the managers, right? Because if managers don't emphasize quality, the line workers probably will just uh, 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 do some currying favor activities like when supervisors are here, then they check, right? Or they check more, right? When supervisors are not here, but it is everyone's responsibility. Importance of quality to be stressed. All functions, including accounting department, research, of course, right? Research doesn't just create new product, right? Innovation lab or whatever they call it, right? They don't create new product. They create new quality product. So this makes the entire difference. That means the word quality is in the mouth of everybody now. It's just like in Singapore, I don't know about other countries, but probably it's true. In Singapore, safety in the construction site is very paramount. Everywhere you go, you can't enter, but then if you go outside, the word safety is put up everywhere. Signboard, flyers, right, banners, logos, and even on the helmet of the workers. And it's not just show and tell. It is like a constant reminder, right? Safety is the first thing before construction. So they have various slogans, but then they emphasize safety. And for construction, safety is also quality. Right? So when the top management emphasizes it so much that it becomes a part of the DNA of every single worker. So it doesn't look or sound awkward for a worker to say, hey, you didn't wear your helmet. Safety, very important. Right? Nah, not important. Anyway, the manager never looks at that. So you see, if everybody looks at it as an important thing, then what happens to the worker that's being reminded, hey, you didn't wear your helmet. Safety is very important. The worker will be very guilty, right? Because, sorry, thanks for reminding. Yeah, so that is the whole idea. Same thing goes for the quality here, right? So quality department is just trying to maybe coordinate, ensure that this is emphasized throughout the whole company. They are not the one to be blamed or solely accounted for the quality of the products being produced. Okay, so importance of quality is stressed everywhere and literally everywhere. All processes, all factory lines in all countries that the MNC has footprint in. Now, concept of internal customers, and this is also new concept, because now quality doesn't mean the quality delivered to our customers. It is still, but now it has been expanded. So if I'm the last stage packaging, let's say, before QC check, then I am your customer upstream because you are baking the bread for me to package, right? So baker, the baking station supervisor, you better treat me as customer. So if I say, hey, your bread is beginning to be a bit burnt, so I'm the customer now, I'm complaining to you. It looks a bit darker than before. Can you please check? I'm giving you feedback and complaint, so you better listen. That's the concept of internal customer. So baker cannot say, hey, look at me as co-worker and say, hey, can you shut up? I do my job, you do your job. Can or not, right? So you cannot do that attitude. If the top is trying to, permeate quality downwards, then the right attitude for the supervisor at the baking stage will say, oh, thank you so much for your feedback. We'll examine and we'll upgrade our procedures to make sure that the color is much more consistent and it doesn't look as dark as you have feedback. Thank you so much. Right? That is the attitude, and that is the concept of internal customers. And of course, easily that goes into TQM, something we want to spend a little bit more time and better understanding on. TQM, right? 90s and beyond until now. Perhaps there's another line now, right? Because 90s till now is 1, 2, 3 decades already, right? So three. So it has evolved some more to maybe AI controlled QC check. But TQM, what is it, right? So managerial importance. Finally, it has reached the top level, and the quality is the main thing. Design a quality product. And what is quality? Meet the specs, right? Meet the specs. In other words, don't have defects. Ideally, zero defects. Realization that QC is a management issue. So CEO, don't blame the line worker. You didn't do your job, you're fired. A QC department, you didn't check, you are fired. All right, so change to a better QC, higher salary. No point. Because you're dealing with humans, physics of things. You didn't uh, configure the machine properly. You didn't check that the legs are a bit unbalanced. That's why the machines start to have asymmetrical positioning. That's why the goods produced are all maybe slanted to one side, or doesn't pass QC check, doesn't meet specs, right? All these are physics of things. You don't blame it on line workers who are just trying to do their best in their limited training, in their limited scope, and okay, fine, limited salary too, right? So it is a top management issue, realization. Of course, the managers are paid millions and millions to realize that it's their fault. That's another way to look at it, right? So the realization that the quality is a management issue, or another way, a more positive way, is to ensure that there is sustainable quality products being produced and quality innovations being generated. Management has to take the steering. Don't, abscond from this responsibility. So that's the realization. Top management commitment is a must. Like I said, in some examples that I don't think you will disagree, right? If the worker points out, hey, you didn't wear your helmet, right? That's a safety issue, and safety issue is a quality issue. The quality that this construction company has zero accident in our 5-year mass rapid transit tunneling project. Zero. You see, that's a track record. That's from the governance, right, operations of the company's perspective, right? It is a very high quality track record. And of course, that will catch the eyes of the government typically, who award these contracts. So if there's another tunneling project in Singapore, guess who will get better brownie points? Someone with high quality, right? So A and B, A offers, or A bids the tender at $100 million, B bids at $95 million, right? And in Singapore, I don't know about other countries. In Singapore, they don't look at price only anymore. Or the government official agencies, they have wisened up. You get low price, you get low quality, low safety, low overall various things. Every single dollar contributes to something. If you buy a cheaper product or service, or engineering firm, you end up trading off something. Maybe it's invisible, maybe it's called quality, maybe it's called safety, right? So they don't look at just the price, so they look at track record. So A has zero accidents in the past, B has three accidents, one major, two minor. Right? Guess who will get a contract? Yeah. So this kind of quality, quality is different, right? Expressed differently, measured differently in different industries and sectors, but it is still a quality issue. Top management commitment is a must. So the construction site, if you look at safety as quality, then you see that the safety logo is the safety word, the safety slogan is being shown everywhere. And that's not just show and tell to make the CEO happy. is to make sure the line workers, the supervisors, they feel free to talk about it, because upstairs is very, you know, much focus on this aspect, on making sure that there is zero accidents. So if worker points out, hey boss, supervisor, right? Hey supervisor, you didn't wear your helmet. Not allowed, you know. Supervisor should embarrassingly say sorry and thank you. Oh, thanks for reminding. Yeah, thanks. Don't tell my boss. Right. So rather than, boss, you didn't wear your helmet. I think the company says safety is very important. Can you keep your mouth shut, right? If you say some more, you're not going to go for your lunch. And that is not right the way that the company will want. But if top management keeps quiet, it seems to be silently supporting this supervisor's arrogant attitude to ignore safety and therefore ignore quality. Right? So top commitment, super important. Organization, structure, process, everything have to support that. For example, how do you get promoted to a supervisor? Well, you work for 3 years. Plus, you go for a quality training. In other words, safety training before you get promoted in this construction company who emphasizes quality. That there is zero accident. You must go through that training for safety before you get promoted. And this is how the structure, the HR, right, the promotion criteria, the rewards, all these are tied in. Then it will make sense. No point trying to say that, hey, CEO says so, but maybe nobody listens. But if money says so, promotion says so, everybody listens, right? So the structure, everything goes hand in hand. Emphasis on continuous improvement. For that, we have the Kaizen, and we want to spend a bit more time to talk more details about the Kaizen subject. So see you in the next video.